I suppose the one thing that all of us in the market want to get our heads around is oversupply. If I look at sales, they've collapsed since 2014. It's a one-way travelling chart. We'll have a look at it. Give me a sense of how much oversupply there is in retail, in commercial, and in residential. Put it in perspective for me.
All right, so we at Nakheel, our core business is residential real estate. So if I begin with the residential segment, I would like to begin by probably cautioning myself and not look at snapshots in time. So we say since 2014 or since 2010 and so on. There is an oversupply, no doubt about that. However, it has actually showed some very different repercussions to what many people are saying. Very recently, and this is probably the more relevant period we should talk about, this supply actually has been in a variety of levels of luxury in the property market. So there's been supply in the luxury segment, in the mainstream segment, and in the budget segment. This has actually, strangely, provided a variety of options for investors over the last 1 year. And what I noticed was that last year, the supply in luxury had reduced and the supply in the lower budget housing had increased. Today, we probably have a strong demand on luxury because of that limited supply in luxury that happened last year. You mentioned pricing, Manus. Yes. Now, pricing has been following an adjustment path for the last 1 year. However, again, this has been actually a blessing in disguise that has made properties very affordable to new customers who didn't have access to those properties previously.
Okay, and that is the context. You're right, a drop in prices. Where are we? I understand the differential that you're drawing there between what's available at the top of the market and perhaps the more affordable part. Where are you on the view that Nakheel, Dubai Properties and Emaar need to draw a halt on expansion to rebalance the oversupply? Do you think there's any merit in that argument? Khalif Al-Tour said that to me when I sat down with him. Do you agree or disagree?
I don't think there's a binary answer to that. Again, just to give an example, on the retail front, we build shopping malls. And the same argument applies to retail as well. To give you just the one example, we're building a mall in a community called Jumeirah Village Triangle called Aqil Avenue. It serves an existing catchment of tens of thousands of residents who don't have access to community malls. So as long as every project has an underpinning business plan to support it, then I think we're on the right track.
In terms of the balance, you're running the business as a chief operating officer. You've got to make a strategic decision whether you're prepared to give up margin to clear inventory. So which is the more important aspect for the business? Will you give up margin to clear that inventory?
Yes, margins are probably not what they used to be. However, there is actually a very effective trend in the real estate market right now where both in off-plan and ready property, where developers like ourselves are offering flexible terms to purchasers when it comes to payment plans and so on. That may affect margins a little bit.
Can I push you a little bit on the margins? If I said to you margins have gone from, what, 30%, I think we caught up with Mac. He said, oh, the days of 30s and 40s are gone. We're looking at high double digits. What does that translate for at Nakheel?
It depends on the project, Manus. It basically it has to make money, else we wouldn't do it.
So are you at double digits? Are we sub 20?
Yes, we're double digits. But it depends on the project. So if there was a project that had a low margin, for instance, I would then perhaps use certain tools to accelerate sales to compensate for that. So it's both go hand in hand together.
Now, you're opening a new mall, we understand, on the Palm. Just, I suppose, when many people would say that retail is coming under pressure here. Again, what have you had to do to sort of incentivize? And again, it goes back to this debate, is what are you prepared to give up to fill up the space? Are you having to give away in terms of margin there to fill that space?
That is another example of a mall that was fulfilling a gap in Palm Jumeirah. Palm Jumeirah has a population of about 40,000 residents that didn't have access to a mall. This is the mall that they've been waiting for. The tenants in the shopping mall are actually excited to be there and have voluntarily come there as a conscious decision for their brands. This mall, just a reminder, is integrated to a monorail station that connects to the metro, that connects to the RTA tram.
Yes.
So there's public transportation and connectivity. The second thing is the residents themselves would probably travel shorter distances to get to it. The third thing is it's part of a mixed-use project called Palm Tower that has access to the beach with 360-degree views of the Palm. See, the Palm, unlike other landmarks, is beautiful from above. And this project actually allows visitors to access a roof deck at the top to visit and view the palms. These are just additional items on the menu for the tourist that comes to Dubai.
Where are you seeing, you talked about the availability, the repricing creates availability.
Yeah.
Who are the biggest buyers? Because let's face it, the Brits are battered by the pound.
Yeah.
You know, so who are your biggest buyers at the moment?
Actually, the British, they're still there.
In the same kind of size?
No, not in the same kind of size, but I still see them choosing Dubai over Britain. I'm not a Brexit expert, but I think it's still seen as a good alternative to British property and London property. The nationalities are very diverse. We have more than 180 nationalities continuing to buy from us, but we've got some new faces. We've got the Chinese purchasing from us. We've got the usual suspects.
The Chinese are really a tour de force in this?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We have a particular product that's quite popular with them. It's called Dragon Towers. It's actually next to Dragon Mart, and that's where a lot of them own businesses and actually have home over there, but who decided to upgrade their homes into newer property. We have the usual suspects, the GCC, the locals, the Indians, the Pakistanis as well, but we're quite happy to actually see that healthy mix of purchasers even today.